Hey, it's Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number 78. It is November 9th, 2022, and I am finally able to sit down and make a floss tube. I have tons to share, tons to show. I have zero fully finishes. Zero. I have been living out of a suitcase probably since the last time you saw me. I've been living out of a suitcase. Me and my husband have done 3 runs to Atlanta to pick up equipment that we've bought. And so just to kind of I get a lot of questions like, what are you doing? So we own a concrete recycling business. That's what I do for a living. And so we are trying to buy more equipment. It's end of the year, time to spend money. But it's also to stock a future yard or yards. So that's kind of we've been busy doing that. I also went to a retreat in Asheville, Annabella's, and I will tell you about that in a little bit. I do have a fully finished to show. It's a previous fully finish. You've probably seen it before. I had it as a necklace. I redid it into a pin, very simply gluing a pin backer on it. Yesterday was election day, and that is my vote pin. This was a free pattern. I want to say it was from Tiny Modernist, but that could be wrong. If you Google vote plus free cross stitch pattern, it will bring it up. I stitched mine 1/1 on 25 count, and I finished it in this cross stitch wooden hoop frame. I don't remember where I bought it from. I've had it for quite a while, but I know when I did a search on Etsy, several of them popped up, and I just glued a pin backer to the back. Mine's a little off-centered. It was a little harder getting it in there, and once you got a crease, it was really hard to move it. I might stitch it again, do it a little differently, but it works. I've used it for a couple of elections now, and I love to wear my little pin, and they say, oh, would you like a sticker? And I say, no, I have my pen. And I always get comments from the ladies that work there, sometimes the men too, so that they're like, oh, I love your pin. So I have tons to show. I have not had time to fully finish anything. I definitely need to sit and fully finish. I have tons and tons to get done before Christmas. So that is hopefully upcoming. So I do want to show you my stitching, but I thought I would first talk about the Asheville retreat. So if you're ever interested in going to a retreat, I would highly recommend it. I'm going to just talk from my experience. I booked the retreat. I did know one lady locally that was going. We have met before. Hello, Jen, if you're watching. I don't know if she watches. So I did know that she was going. She was not able to go at the last minute. I knew kind of a couple people that I had talked to online before, but I've never met them in person. So I booked it and I thought, well, we'll see what happens. If you are worried about having a friend at the retreat, do not. Book a retreat, go. You will be 100% fine by yourself. You do sit at your table all weekend long, so you have table mates. And I don't know that anybody had a bad table. They were just fantastic, a wonderful group of ladies. At this retreat, Priscilla and Chelsea was there. I will show you the retreat piece that I stitched. I did not fully finish my piece. I take a little bit more time when I fully finish. Well, one, they had hot glue. Y'all know I'm not a glue fan, a wet glue fan. And I also sew in my corners because I like really tight corners. I cannot get mine tight without stitching them in. Amy_in_stitches. I think it's Amy_in_stitches. Anyhow, she is on Instagram and she has a really quick little video that she's done showing how to stitch in your corners. She showed me and I was like, that is brilliant. And that's what I do now. And I'm much, much happier with my corners. I by no means did expect a finishing class to wait on me to sew in corners. So I said, it's fine. I have the finishing piece. I have everything that I need to fully finish it. And I brought that stuff home with me, and I will fully finish it probably next year because I have so much Christmas stuff to get done. So it'll just go on the shelf and it will be finished next year, but I have everything. I saw how it was finished. And so I'm good on that. The retreat was wonderful. It was so nice to sit, and I say stitch, but I will show you my progress. I think I talked more. I shopped a lot. And when I say shopped, like we literally shopped online because somebody at the table had something and we were all like, ooh, where did you get that? Yeah. Okay. So, and not just our table, other tables. So it was really, really nice. It was so nice. Priscilla and Chelsea were there as the guests. We do have a retreat piece, and Elaine from Annabella's was putting on the retreat. So it was wonderful. So much that I signed up to do the Annabella's All About Winter retreat in Palm Beach, Florida in January. So that's a little bit more of a drive. I'm in North Carolina, but I drive to Orlando, no big deal. The Florida run is not bad from Charlotte at all. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. So I'm going to go to the next retreat. So if you're going, definitely leave me a comment. Let me know. So at the retreat, I walk into the room, and I had registered the day before. Like if you were there at the hotel on Thursday night, you walked down and got your registration packet and registered. So I did that. Thursday night, I was going to go down and like stitch in the main areas and meet people, but I really got comfortable in my room, and I was stitching, and I had a balcony door open, and I had grabbed like a little something to eat from Starbucks. I was so content with the TV on. I just stayed in my room on Thursday night. It was so relaxing. If you've never had your own hotel room as an adult, I know that sounds silly. I highly recommend it. It's so nice. So I stitched on Thursday night. Friday morning was the registration at 8 a.m. It said 9 o'clock they would start. For some reason, I thought 9 o'clock the stitching room would open and we would all go in. So I walk in, I was wrong. Walk in, the room is full. And I'm like, deer in headlights, a lot of full tables is what I'm seeing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, like in high school when you walk into the cafeteria and you're like, where's my people? I was like, oh gosh. It's not. Everybody was like, oh, we have empty seats over here. And you went and found an empty seat. So I'm sitting at the table, I'm getting my stuff out, and Chantel from 141 Designs comes over and she's like, I'm going to sit by you. Now, I have ordered from 141 Designs before. I have talked to Chantel online before, briefly, but I never met her in person. Her and Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher, she has a Flosstube. She also has a beautiful blog with lots of tutorials. Now, I have watched Jessica several times, like I've caught several of them. Unfortunately, stupid me, I had not subscribed. Here's my little warning. If you are watching me and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Because I see these Flosstubers that I like, and I forget to hit the subscribe button, and then they don't show up in your feed all the time unless you go to search, or they happen to post at the time that you come up. It'll kind of show up as new videos. So I corrected that and subscribed to Jessica's. I have watched a couple, not all of them, which I'm going back and watching hers. Jessica is the sweetest. She has a great stitching mat tutorial on her blog. Her blog is beautiful. She has some great finishing tutorials, and she does some great stitching. So a lot of the stuff that I like to stitch, Jessica stitches. So go check out Sweetwater Stitcher. I will put it down in the comments down below, anybody that I mention. Chantel, first of all, she is the sweetest, nicest, one of the funniest people. I laughed so hard because of Chantel. She's hysterical. She has great products. I'm going to show you something when I show you my whips that I'm working on because of the fantastic finish. It's fantastic. If I think about it later on, I will take a picture of kind of my whip and then take a picture of what she had finished in it, and I'll put it up on Instagram so you can see it even more. Beautiful. I'll show you that in a little bit. But Chantel is, if you've never ordered from her, I love to buy from wonderful people, and meeting her in person, she is so wonderful. So Chantel, if you are watching, it was wonderful to sit by you and Jessica and all my table mates. All my table mates were wonderful. But Chantel just had me laughing all weekend long. She's a hoot. She is a hoot. But I saw her up and down going to the store. We had like store hours. She was a vendor at the show. So there were store hours we could shop at. I saw multiple people come over and say, oh, I wanted to go over there and get whatever when you're open. And she's like, oh no, come on, I'll walk you over. And she would, multiple times throughout the weekend, she got up, went and helped somebody. Or she was not only that, but just walking around the room, looking at everybody's project, commenting on them. I mean, she's just a true, genuine person. So if you don't already follow, she has a Flosstube. But if you don't already, she has an Etsy shop, 141 Designs. She has beautiful projects, beautiful stuff for your finishing. And I'll show you the one that I got, and a lady who doesn't even cross stitch had a wonderful idea for these as well. So I'll show you that later. Another Flosstuber that I met and I had never watched before, but I have since subscribed, because see, I've learned my error. Love to boogie _ love, and it's the number 2, not spelled out, to stitch. It's Lourdes. I've only gotten to watch 2 of her floss tubes so far. I ran out of time yesterday to watch more, but I think she has 5 or 6 videos out, so I'm going to watch the rest of them. So, and Lourdes was a lot of fun to meet. Her sister was there as well, and they were just so sweet. The other stitcher that I want to mention is Jess Got You in _ stitches. She did the retreat piece I posted on my Instagram, Made by Michelle McGraw. She adapted the retreat piece. She took a little car off of one of the Dapper doodads. She said she doesn't like to stitch houses. Our piece had a house. She took a little car. She had like a tree. It was so cute. I love the idea, and she personalized it. So first of all, Jess was cute as a button. Okay, cute as a button. So the idea of the little car, she put Asheville on the back of the car, and then on the license tag, she put NC. I think it's a wonderful idea to do that little car, maybe a tree or a pumpkin to represent the retreat, and I'm going to do it as an ornament for this year. Just to remind, a lot of my ornaments I like to have to remind me of something that happened through the year. So, Jess, I hope you take flattery, or copying as the biggest form of flattery. Her finish was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It was unique and out of the box, and I loved it. And she was so sweet to me. So, if you don't already follow her on Instagram, go give her a follow too. I think her mother was there, and I didn't catch her mother's name. I think it was her mother. I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay. The other thing that I got to do, and I'm trying not to chat too long, I'm so sorry. I got to meet Stacy, the 911 stitcher, in person. So I came back from the retreat on Sunday, and Stacy was in town Sunday evening, and we met Monday afternoon. And it was so great to meet Stacy in person. So we talk often. Stacy is so sweet, adorable. It was so nice just to sit. We sat in the lobby of the hotel. We were supposed to be stitching, but we didn't do much stitching. We were talking. I was showing her goodies from the retreat that I got, which I will show you. It was just a great afternoon. And then she went with me to our local cross stitch meetup, which is at the Locust Library. So if you are local, we meet Monday and Thursdays. Monday evening, 5 to 7 at the Locust Library. And then we meet Thursday, 10 to 12 during the day, Locust Library. Beth organizes that local cross-stitch meetup, and there's always people pop in, and so we hope to grow the group too. So it's been a lot of fun. Stacy got to come to that and stitch and meet all the girls there, so that was super fun. Okay. I'm going to jump into stitching, and then I'll kind of talk about some other things that I have. I do have finishes. They're just not fully finished. Oh, I forgot to bring my board over here. Oh, pooper scooper. All right. That's a whip. See, this is what happens when you don't do a Flosstube for a while. You're out of practice. All right, so I got the last ornament done that I needed to do for my goals, which was to do 3 ornaments for each of my kids, plus my son's girlfriend, Mackenzie. And so that was 12 ornaments. I got those all done. I also do an ornament for my niece and nephew. My niece's was the last one I needed to do. So she has a Harry Potter Christmas tree, and I wanted to do her a Harry Potter character. And I used the pattern from Good Morning Maui. This is called Harry 1. I did Draco Malfoy, who's right here. She is a Slytherin fan, so this was perfect for her. And I stitched this on 14 count, picture this plus Murky. So there is Draco. He is super cute. I love the details. I'm a huge Good Morning Maui fan. I love her stuff that she does like this. And the great thing about this is there are more characters that I can do for Reese's Christmas tree. So I love that. I will be using that again next year for some patterns for her. So I got that one done. The next one that I got done, now this is an unusual one for me. Let me find a chart so I can stick it on here. So I did Prairie Schooler 2017 Santa. Now I originally started this and I had just a little portion of the hat done. And then I saw somebody online that had stitched this in a variegated blue. And I loved the idea. I loved, because polar bears are so wintry. I love the color blue when you do anything winter. I loved it. And I thought, I'm gonna do the unusual for me, which is to change a Prairie Schooler. So with that change, I wanted to keep it still Prairie Schooler because I'm doing the yearly Santas as I like them. So I'm not doing them in any specific order. But I do want to keep them looking like Prairie Schoolers because I do think Prairie Schoolers are probably the gold standard for me for stitching. They are timeless and classic and I love them. So I chose a blue that was already in my stitching bag. So I have a bag that has all my Prairie Schooler patterns in it and I have the floss in that bag. So the floss that I used for the Santa is 930. That's the blue. So it is called for in some other Santas that they have. So it's keeping in that same kind of Prairie School look, but changing the red to blue. Now with that, I also had to change the trim on his coat. It was green. And I decided I didn't want it green. So I did I think it's 648, a gray. Another gray that Prairie Schooler calls for. I just changed that. So here is the original and here is my version. I really like how it turned out. Okay, so I will tell you another secret which I showed at my cross stitch meetup. So I have a yard of Murky fabric in that bag because I do all my Prairie Schooler Santas on Murky. I have a pair of scissors in there. But apparently, when I start them, a lot of times I'm traveling because that's an easy bag for me to take when I'm traveling. I just hack away at my fabric. How do you like my cut line? Now, it'll be fixed when I fully finish it, obviously, but yeah, everybody had a good laugh. I could show you the yard of fabric. It is embarrassing. The other thing I wanted to say about Murky. So I always get a lot of questions. Where do you get your Murky? I use Picture This Plus Murky. It is my favorite color. It is very hard to come by. I recommend if you want Murky, go on 123 Stitch. If it's not there, whatever size count you want, linen, Lugana, Ada, whatever you want, sign up for the email notifications when it comes in. I would recommend in your count signing up for multiple size cuts because like I buy a yard when I buy Murky a lot of times because I I have enough of it. So when I do buy it, I buy it in a yard form. But you don't have to buy a yard. You can buy a smaller cut, but maybe sign up for a couple different cut sizes. And when it comes into stock, they will email you. Now you do have to respond pretty quick because they do go out of stock. I did a project recently on 18 count. Picture this plus. 18 has not been in stock on 123 Stitch. I don't even think they carry it. I don't know if they will. I have no idea. You definitely could ask them. I am working with a fabric dyer to get something similar to Murky. Not in copying Murky, but getting something similar in that tone where you have the gray tones, the tan tones, where the white shows up nice, the red pops on Murky. We're working on it. I will give you details if it works out. It is something that she's looking at. Obviously, it's something that, she's going to tweak and come up with some samples and stuff. So if it works out, I'll give you some information on an alternative to Murky. And of course, I want to get it and see it in person and stitch on it and make sure my white and my red pop, because that's one of the things I love about Murky. Okay. The next one that I got to finish, and I do not have the chart with me. I don't think I do. Is the Hometown Holidays Tree Lot from Little House Needleworks. Now, I am doing the Hometown Holiday series. My goal is to do 3 of them this year to add. I think I did 4 last year. I think I did 4. I'd have to look. I wanted to add 3 this year. So this is my second one, and this is the Tree Lot. So once again, I'm stitching these on 14 count. Picture this plus Murky as well. See, the red pops nice. That is actually not white. It is ecru, but it still shows up nice on this fabric. So I have started my third one. I think I might miss my goal on my nativity. So if you're new here, I stitched a nativity set from Jan Lynn. I think it's under Cooler now. And I don't know exactly how that happened. Mine was a kit. You can buy just the pattern now. It doesn't come as a kit. It's a pattern. It is on 123 Stitch, and it's just called Nativity. And I made them into stand-ups. Last year I did Mary, Baby Jesus, and Joseph. This year I wanted to add 3 more pieces. I have stitched 1, which is the donkey. My idea was to do some animals this year. I don't know if I'm going to get 3 more pieces done. I would have to do 2 more pieces to finish my goal. I don't know if I'm going to quite make it. It's okay. All these goals that I have, they are not hard set. I have to do. They are fun. What would I like to accomplish this year? And I might not make it this year. It's okay. It's not going anywhere. I still have the pattern. I still have everything, and I will simply pick up next year and try to do probably 3 more next year. But I will know that I will start maybe with the nativity next year when I start Christmas stitching to get some done. So anyhow, if I get to my goal, fantastic. If I don't, it's okay. All right, so the next thing that I stitched, and the reason why is that nativity set is kind of old school shading, a lot of shading. There's some blends in it. It is not a stitch friendly card project. I literally have my chart and I mark off. I normally don't mark off my patterns, but what was happening is I was missing stitches, and then it was taking so much longer to go back and do 1 stitch here and 2 stitch here because I missed them. So now I use a twistable crayon and mark off as I stitch it, and that made the bottom half, or made several of mine last year that I did, go a lot faster. So I kind of learned by stitching 1 that I would miss these stitches. So I would start shading it off to make sure I got everything. Worked much, much better. But that is not a car/truck friendly project at all. So it does not go on the road with me, and I just haven't been here that much. So it's on the list. If I get it done, great. If I don't, I don't. The next project I did was Old School Santas from Prairie Schooler. Now this is in my Santa bag. Last year, I did this one coming out of the chimney, or going in the chimney. This time, let me see it. I did this one, which it's hard to see on that fabric. I will show you mine. It's easier to see on mine. And it's also glaring. That's a reprint chart, so it's, not cardstock. Okay, so this is, I called him the Moonstaff Santa. These are super quick. They're definitely not as big as the yearly Santas, but I really do like them. It is on Picture This Plus 14 count Murky. And let me see, these are, I'll bring them in closer so you could see, but let me see how big these are. $60 by 32. It goes really fast. In comparison, a yearly Santa on the cards is 75 by 57. So these are a little bit bigger. Anyhow, there he is up close, super cute. And that's the Old World Santa. Now, I did a little one that I took from a chart. This is Here Comes Santa Claus from Back Up the Truck from Stitching with the Housewives. And I just took the Santa and the reindeer, the sleigh and the reindeer. Now, I did not do the snowflakes that are up there. I thought when I did them, I just wanted him as a little ornament. The snowflakes would be too big, so I just made my own little snowflakes to make it as a little night scene. And that's going to be finished into a little ornament. Just thought it was cute. This is stitched on 14 count Fiber on a Whim Night Sky. Fiber on a Whim is a great Aida if you're looking for a nice soft Aida. I would say it's very comparable to Picture This Plus softness, and I really like that. Now, some people do not. I do. Okay, the next fully finished that I have is our retreat piece. So I'm going to show you the chart and then I'll show you mine. We were supposed to stitch this. This was our homework and then you fully finished. I did not fully finish my piece, but here is the chart that we got. Autumn Leaves and Pumpkins Please. Super cute, right? So this is the one that Jess changed. I loved her adaptations. I had already stitched mine and I stitched it on Heather from Picture This Plus. Just for something different, I stitched mine on this fabric, was a leftover piece from, I was gonna say Autumn Lane Stitchery, Cherry Hill Stitchery, a piece that I did for fall. I have not fully finished it, but those two pieces will match now. So that's why I used that fabric. And it was just a little different than stitching on black. So that'll go on the list to be fully finished. Okay, so now we're up to whips, and I do have what I worked on at the retreat. Now, I'm a pretty quick stitcher because I normally use my stand and I stitch two hands. Our tables, we were a little close. I felt like the stand was taking up too much room, so I did not use my stand. I would love to say that's the reason why I don't have more done. It's not. It's because I literally would not stop talking. Yeah, I wouldn't stay in my seat and I wouldn't stop talking. It's okay, I had a great time. So this is Fraser Fur Farm from Stitching with the Housewives. And I wanted to do these. I did some Stitching with the Housewives trucks for my boys last year. I really liked how they turned out. I want to kind of match the finish for these to those because eventually those are going to leave my tree when my boys move out. So I really liked them. So I wanted the same look. They were stitched on black. I'm stitching on black. And also the only thing I did change is this is 18 count black. That is the extent of what I got done at retreat. Yeah, that's it. Now I am stitching this 2 strands on 18 count. I'm not a fan of 2 strands on 18 count, but with it being an ornament and black and stitching white, I felt like I needed 2 strands. It's not my favorite to stitch. I think one strand looks better on 18 count, but once again, I wanted it to be bold. I didn't want you to see the black through the white. That's how much I have done. Yeah. Okay. Another whip that I have started is St. Nicholas 2 from the book St. Nicholas 2 Prairie Schooler. I am doing the pipe Santa. He is right there. So once again, this is a Santa, so it goes in my Santa bag. We were traveling, I started him. So I don't have much done. I just have the top of his hat. So he will go back into my Prairie Schooler bag and hopefully be finished this year, but if not, I'll finish him up next year. I need to make a copy, a working copy, because I was using my chart, and this is a cardstock chart. It was a little worn before I got it, but I don't want to tear it up because there's some great Santas on here. And so I need to make a working copy of so I don't mess it up as I'm traveling and stuff. So that needs to be done. Okay, the other one that I am working on. Oh, I have another one. Hold on. I'm gonna have to find my chart because I have my working chart. It might be in my pattern holder. Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay. I am working on Main Street Station from Little House Needleworks. And I don't have too much done. This was one that I took on the trip as well. There's where I'm at. So I haven't started. That would be my third one, and that would finish up that goal for this year. So if we go back to Atlanta, which we do have more trips, I need to take that one with me. All right. The last whip that I have is a Prairie Schooler, a Merry Mini Surprise. Do you see a theme? I have tons of Prairie Schooler this time. I did stitch this on 14 count. Picture this plus Murky. Okay, so I have previously stitched these, and stitched 4 of these, and I fully finished them, which I've showed before. Okay, Chantel from 141 Designs has these fabulous wooden sleds. Fabulous. I'm going to try to take a picture of the chart with these sleds, and then I took a picture of her finish so you could see it. She finished she finished 3 of them on the wooden sleds. They are beautiful. She does a little bit of greenery up here with a little tiny bow. She said the bow was already in a pack at Hobby Lobby. She just bought the bows. And then she put a little bit of greenery. Simple, flat fold with a little bit of green plaid fabric behind it. And that was her finish for those. It was so brilliant. I want to restitch them for my tree, and I'm going to do them on the sleds. Here is where I'm at. I am doing the skate Santa, the one with the skates on it first. And here's where I'm at. So I'll be finishing him up soon. And then I'm going to pick 2 more, and they will go on these sleds. 141 Designs has a bunch of smalls that you can do for your ornaments. One looks like a tobacco basket. The great thing about it is it's totally flat. So like a tobacco basket curves, you don't have that issue with hers. It's totally flat. These sleds, there were some other just blank wood ones that would be great. There were some mini paddles for ornaments. I'm trying to think if we're just talking about ornaments, she has tons of stuff to finish smalls. There's one I cannot remember what it's called, and it's a little stitching box, and it stands up on its own. It's adorable, and so many smalls would fit into it. And the great thing about that stitching block, I don't have one with me. You could either do it vertically or horizontally. So it would fit so many different things. So check out 141 Designs. She's awesome. These sleds were brilliant. I think she painted hers like a charcoaly black, which was perfect. I would love to do them red, but as you guys know, Prairie School red is hard to match. So I think I'm going to do them like a charcoaly black. I have to ask my sister if she has any chalkboard paint that, because they're not going to take much, that I could just like swipe down there and use. If not, then I'll buy my own little jar of it. So I'll have it for the future. But if she already has it, I can borrow it. Well, I wouldn't be borrowing it. I would be taking it because I'm not going to give it back, right? Okay. Now, we're going to get into haul. Actually, I have been kind of good, kind of bad. Okay, the biggest thing, the one thing that I want to talk about is I joined Teresa Guts. I got it right. Patreon. And if there's different levels of her Patreon, I did, I think, tier 4. And you get some free patterns per month, but you can also buy previous Patreon releases. And one of them is why I signed up, because I loved it so much. I was like, I need that. I have ordered some floss. I think I have the fabric, and I'm going to start it because it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And I will show you that chart in just a little bit, but you get, depending upon what level you're in, you get some coloring pages, which these are ones that I printed out in the past. You can blow these up. You can use them for punch needle. You can use them for, somebody said wool applique too. So lots and lots of ideas for the coloring pages that she does. She also has a stitch along going right now that's for her Patreon. And I can show you there's one part left. It is Strawberry Manor Mystery Sow. Totally, totally cute. There's still, as you can tell, a section that hasn't been released yet. And that's for tier 4. So there's also the November Patreon. I'm trying to get all the pattern together. This is the November Patreon tier 2, 3, and 4. So once again, it depends upon your tier, but you get this pattern for free. It changes every month. You get something for free. So you do have to print them out within the month because she takes them down. And then I think they go into her store. Like if you missed it, you could buy them, but you do want to print them within the month. Now, I have hemmed and hawed for this, and I will be honest, when I show you the pattern that pushed me over the edge is why I went ahead and signed up. I am not mad about it at all. It's been fabulous. This is Patreon November, tier 3 and 4. So here's another one that you get. I'm in tier 4, so this was free. All right, I have talked about this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you, the picture on the front of this chart does not do this chart justice. Chantel is actually stitching this. It was beautiful. Stunning. The colors of this, Teresa is an artist. And when I say she's an artist, she knows color. So I even asked her, I was like, are you using called for colors? And she's like, oh yeah. She's a master. This is Beauty Fades. Okay, so I'm gonna put it up here, try to get all of it in. So when I was looking at this is a like kind of a longer sampler. I was looking at this and I thought, oh, I probably would delete this part of it, the alphabet and all. That is exactly what Chantel did. She took out her thing and she had the roses up here. And when you look at those roses, like I said, this picture is not good. They're beautiful when they're stitched. This lady, beautiful. Everything is beautiful when you see it stitched. 110%. I am not mad about joining her Patreon. This is going to be started. I'm going to maybe use it as like a 30-minute a day stitch because I loved it so much. Okay, the other ones, now I paid for these because these are past Patreons. This is September's Patreon of 2021 and October's Patreon of 2021. I was not in Patreon, but I can buy them in her secret store. So we have Harvestina and Harvest Ted. Now, if you've been here for a while, what am I thinking? And if you guessed a stand-up, you are not wrong. Oh my God, how cute would these be as stand-ups? I loved it, loved it. those 3 charts, those last 3 charts that I showed you is exactly why I signed up for the Patreon. I was like, I'm done. It wins. I'm doing it. Here's another coloring page. This is Patreon November 2022. So you have a Santa. And here's another one. So as you can see, I've already gotten a lot out of the Patreon. I still have a couple more patterns that I have bought, but I haven't printed yet. I prefer to print them at my work computer. It's a little bit better printer, which is probably why some of these are not showing up super, super great on the front of my charts. My printer here is not the best. It's okay, but the one at the office is better. So I only printed the ones that I really, really wanted to show you guys. Okay, while we were at retreat, one of the girls was stitching a pattern and she finished it. So she tooted her horn and said, you know, which indicated you finished a project, and she held it up and I thought it was adorable. I took a picture of the front of the chart so I could Google it when I got home and buy it, which is what I did this morning. This is from Pigeon Coop. And if you do a search Pigeon Coop cross stitch, it came right up. And this is Festive Cardinal. Now this looks very reminiscent to Charles, what is his name? Charles, I want to say Warlick, but that's not right. I don't think that's not how you say his name. Has a W. Anyhow, he's an older designer and he did a lot of animals and stuff that kind of had this feel. I really, 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 really like this. This was super cute. So I know a lot of people are cardinal fans. I think this is a great cardinal. So it is Pigeon Coop Designs. So I bought that this morning and printed it out so I could show you guys. I was gonna buy it anyhow, just so you know. All right, this is Jolly Squirrel from the same company that I bought also. I liked the details on the squirrel. He's really cute. And these are not huge patterns. The cardinal is 61 by 59 high. So that would make a great ornament. Okay, what else have I gotten in the mail? So I got a wonderful, wonderful kit. And I kept it all together because, one, I have not been home. And so, Brenda, you have a really nice, thank you coming to you. But I wanted to keep it all in the bag. She sent some fabric in case I would use it. Great, right? That's really sweet. It gets better. Okay, she says I have some charts in case you would like them. Heartstring sampleries. Cute. Here's another heartstring sampleries Santas. I love Santas. Great, right? Don't have these. She says I have Prairie Schooler Santa Moon. Adorable, right? Cardstock chart. I love cardstock charts from Prairie Schooler. Okay, that's great. She also said I have Fall Friends from Needle Love. Now, y'all know I did Fall Friends from Needle Love last year. And if you, hold on, I have to cover part, there's a chart on the back. Let me cover this with my scrap piece of paper so I could show you the front and the back of the chart. So if you remember, I did all of these plus the pilgrims, and I did them as stand-ups. She sent her start, which she said I'm not going to finish. Adorable. So that's her start. Okay, great, right? My copy of this is embarrassing. Embarrassing. It is in tatters. I can't even tell you. I've made a working copy of it, and my working copy is even in tatters. It's awful, awful. Yes. But here's the best piece that she sent me. And Brenda has no idea that this was a unicorn chart, or at least I don't think she did. For me, this is a unicorn chart. I have looked and looked for this. Needle Love Holiday Friends. So it does come with the pilgrims, which I've done, but it has that one. It has the bunny, a witch, And I think this is an angel, right? Yes, an angel. Holiday Friends, right? Holiday Friends. This was a unicorn chart. So Brenda, thank you so much. These are all on my list. These are all, I've done these, but I want to do the rest of them. They are so fantastic. I love them. Thank you so much. Now, as soon as I can stay home long enough, I will send you a thank you note in the mail, but I did want to show it here on my Flosstube because that was amazing. She had no idea, I don't think, that was a unicorn chart for me. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I will pay you for these. I love this. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I want to show you a couple other things that I got. You guys know that I do Stash and Load and I do the magazines. There's a couple different groups that do them. Let's see these stained glass charts. I think they're super cute. I have found that religious ornaments are harder to find, like new religious ornaments are harder to find. So I've actually found more of them in older magazines than I have found in newer charts being released. Primrose Cottage has one. It's actually on my list to buy and to stitch. I just don't know if I'll get to it this year. But it's hard to find religious ones. So the magazine charts have been great because they have a lot more. This one is some Vegas charts. We go to Vegas. Oh, I wish I could show you the whole thing. There are so many Vegas inspired. Okay, so I can only show you the front page, but let me tell you, there's so many more Vegas charts in here. Look at that one, it's perfect. So this will go on my list to stitch, I think probably next year because we're going to Vegas next year. And here I can show you a little bit more. Aren't they perfect? I don't think there's any other pages that I can show you though. Let me see. There's a lot of charts in these little magazines. Like there's an Elvis head, a roulette table, a desert scene, a Cadillac, a chorus line girl, a slot machine, the Great Vegas sign. And I just found this in a magazine. Somebody was selling these pages. Let me see if I can read this. It is cross-stitching magazine, but I'm trying to say the date. If you're looking for anything like that. It doesn't have it doesn't have what magazine it came in, like what issue it came in. Yeah, doesn't have it, but I got that off of somebody on Stash Unloading. That will be perfect. I also got this chart. This is a Country Cotton needlework chart, and B is for boy. So I really liked that. And then you have G is for girl. And those were originally in a magazine, so I grabbed those up. Also, I got my club, the 12 Days of Christmas Stitching Ornament Club, Stocking Ornament Club, sorry. So that one came. I also got my Let's Go Ride a Bike Christmas Lane from Stitching with the Housewives. That's a club that I also get from Fat Quarter Shop. And I also got my month to month December from Fat Quarter Shop. I get the chart and the floss. So all of that came in. Okay, the next thing, now, Chantel sent me this box, and when I got this box, I was like, wait a minute, I already got my order from her. Why is she sending me another box? She sent me a note that said I had showed some things that were not sanded that she had sent out. Now, I will be honest with you, I did not even notice it, but she said if you were to go paint them, you would notice that they weren't sanded. So she sent me some more of the thread holders. This one has a Santa on them. And this one has Chantel's 141, which is her company. So I'm going to be doing these as giveaways coming up. I'm not going to do it this week because I do have more travel and I'm really nervous about the amount of time between my floss tubes when I do a giveaway. So when I know that we're done hauling out of Atlanta and I don't have to go to Atlanta again, then I will do these as giveaways for you guys, okay? And once again, I didn't even notice her error. She saw it on my floss tube and she sent me, she's like, oh, and here's one to correct the one, and here's some more to give away. So I will be giving those away to everybody, but just not right now. I just don't want to leave everybody hanging. Okay, so I did get goodies at the retreat. Some of these are free goodies, and some of these are goodies that I got out of the store. So my finishing pieces that was in the kit, and I also had the backing board. It was a crate. I didn't bring that in with me. I think it's still in a bag in my car. Okay, so we got some patterns. This one is a Country Day from October House. Now, I'm not super familiar with this company, but this is really pretty. So I'm actually going to be looking them up to see what else they have. I think that's really, really pretty. A Witch in Her Garden from Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. That was one of our gifts. Here's the retreat itinerary, in case you were wondering. Rosewood Manor. What is this called? Happy Autumn. That was also a freebie for us in our bags. This is from Annabella's America, My Home Sweet Home. So this is one of her patterns. We also got Scandinavian Ornaments 2 from JBW Designs. I might actually have this one. If I do, it will go in the giveaway pile, okay? Another Annabella's is Pretty Leaves and Pumpkins, Please. Now, I know this starts what I bought. So if it's not something that I bought, oh no, this is another one. Felice Naughty Dog from Dirty Annie's. And then now this looks like what I bought, I think. Yes. So Annabella had her store there. Elaine had her store. And they had these charts that are like the black, white, and red. Now, there are more. Some of them she was sold out. This color on the front of this chart does not accurately show this as well as they look in person. Just so you know, they're really, really nice in person. Obviously a red is an easy color to change. If you don't like a red, you can easily change that. But these are prettier in person than they show up. There's more to this set. She was just out of the chart, so I'll order the rest of them at another time. Christmas Simple Smalls. These are quick stitch patterns from Annabella's, which are some houses and a train. And I really, really, really like the church. But I love this house over here too. And I like the train. I think I would make my train red. I don't know. Maybe not, but those are some quick ones. I also got Merry and Bright from Annabella's. And this is Picking Season from Annabella's. I also got some pins that they had. What company is this? This is the Button Company. There's a sticker over across the back of it, so I can't. Just a button. Just a button. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. But those are some cute little Christmas pins that she had that I got. Okay, our last thing that we got from Retreat was an entire project. We got the fabric, the floss, the finishing piece from 141 Designs, adorable. And here is the exclusive cross-stitch piece for the Retreat. Is that not adorable? This is all things autumn. Now, I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't say on here that this is only for the Retreat. I think you'll be able to buy this. I just don't know when. But, I mean, adorable. Adorable. So we got that entire kit as well. So, all right. That's everything that I have to show. what are my plans? My plans are to finish stitching the Prairie Schoolers that I have started, if I can finish them. I'd like to finish my little house needleworks. I will be stitching Christmas the rest of November. I need to sit and fully finish as much as I possibly can, as quickly as I can. So that's going to be a big goal, is to be fully finishing. And then in December, I will start moving towards winter pieces. Not to say that I won't stitch any Christmas if it pops up or something that I really want to. But I would like to start to work into some winter, because I'd like to add a couple more winter pieces. The great thing about winter pieces is you can put them out for Christmas, but when I take all my Christmas stuff down, then I still have some stuff that I can leave out for a little while. So I would like to add a couple more pieces for decorating. As you guys, the way my camera's set up today, you can see my stand. I still have to take down Halloween. I haven't had time. That I think is today's goal, is to take down Halloween, get all of that cleaned up, and then put out fall and Thanksgiving, just fall and Thanksgiving. So any pieces that are just fall can stay out, and then I'll bring out some Thanksgiving pieces as well. So that's what's on the agenda. That's what I will be doing. I hope to come back quickly with a Flosstube, but it all depends on how much travel I'm doing. Again, we still have one entire plant to get out of Atlanta, and that plant is probably 6 loads. So that takes us normally a day, a half a day to drive down, a day to load it all on the trailer, get it tied down, and then half a day to come back. So generally it's 2 days that I'm away from home right there, easy. And then my husband also has to go back to Michigan to get another conveyor that we bought, that we went up to get this summer and were unable to. Now they have it moved to a location that we're going to be able to get to, and we have to go back up and get that. I don't actually know if I'm going on that one. It will all depend upon whether one of my sons can go with him and help him, but we'll see. Otherwise, I need to go because he has nobody to help him. So that is what's on the agenda. Super busy, but I'm still cross stitching and still doing everything. I just haven't been able to sit down and finish and do a Flosstube, but those are on my list. I will try to put some pictures on Instagram, especially of Chantel's finish on the sled, so you guys can see them. So pop over to my Instagram later on this afternoon. Hopefully I'll get them up and check out those finishes. I took pictures. She had all of her display at the show, and it was fantastic. I will be putting more pictures up from her display so people can see them, but I will put the sleds one up separately in case you're interested in those, so that you can see her finish, and then I'll put my whip up there with it, which is nothing, but you'll be able to see it. Okay, happy stitching, and I'll see you soon.